Thank you, Sarah. Well, Robbo and I will hold the fort during dessert, and we'll be lucky enough to be joined by a couple of tonight's Hall of Fame inductees, including this man, Matthew Pavlich. 700 goals, 353 games, a six-time All-Australian, and now a Hall of Fame inductee. How does it feel?
Incredibly privileged and honoured, Kath. It's not something you start your career wanting to do. As a few people have said tonight, you hope to get a game, and then you hope to establish yourself in the team, and then you hope to play well week after week, and then you want to, after a while you expect to play and be invested in. But being in the room tonight, there's only 298 other people that have done it. There's 31 legends. It is a great privilege. And to be here with my family, my wife Lauren, the kids are here, mum and dad, along with Lauren's family. It's a great night.
Equal as important. How do you feel about Matthew Pavlich going in the Hall of Fame?
This is about Matthew Pavlich.
It's nice to have West Australian people in the room tonight.
Kath used to have posters.
I did not.
Of you.
No, I didn't. That's a lie. That's a lie. But what I will say is, when you would go and watch Pav at Subiaco Oval back in the day, there was this sense of reassurance when Matthew Pavlich got the ball. And also, as a little girl, I would look and go, how big is this man's thighs? But
always that big thighs and big nose. I mean, you can't do without your Croatian heritage. But look, I think it's the beauty of the team that I played with and the group that I was with. I think, for many ways, I felt like I was filling some gaps here and there, but I knew if I had my support behind me and as our team developed and grew, I'd be able to lead that team through. So I always used to love playing at Subi and kicking those goals outside 50, Kath.
You know what I loved about your speech, and you spoke really, really well, and there's a couple of things that stood out for me. I always like it when someone says he was a great footballer, but he was a better person. That must give you great pride that Rossline would say something like that. And as a young boy, like Kath was a young girl, when you went into the rooms and you spoke about the noise, the smells, the language, and you looked at the senior players as a young guy, you're looking at demigods at that stage of your life, aren't you? And to think you've gone through that, equaled them, passed them, and in the Australian Football Hall of Fame, it's incredible.
Yeah, and look, it's right in the moment, it's hard to kind of encapsulate. It really is. But I grew up idolising West Torrens Eagles players.
That shone through that.
Yeah, no, I did, and my dad was there, and he was a leader in that environment. So he had an aura about him, my father, and I idolised him. And being around a change room and the smells and the sounds and the
it's great. Isn't it?
Honestly, and that's the beautiful thing about this game, that we get to do all of it as a young lad and then all the way through. And that's why we all love the thing that we're involved in.
You mentioned your wife Lauren's here and also the three children. Do your kids realise what a great footballer you were?
No, not at all, which is a good thing, I think. I think they see Dad on telly and, being a bit of a goose and doing various things, and they think that's just Dad and that's our life, which, it's an education for them about the game of footy, and we took them to the game yesterday. 76,000 people, the MCG. The last time we were there was when I did the lap as a retiree, and I had baby William literally in my arms.
So he's now, what, 5?
He's 5.5, and we had Jack 7 and Harper 9 now. So they were in the cab with us, or the Hilux or whatever it was. I was like, guys, we have been here before, but I've got a photo of Jack falling asleep on me as Dale Morris tackled Buddy Franklin to the ground, and who kicked the famous goal for the Bulldogs?
Tom Boyd.
Tom Boyd, thank you. So we've got those memories, but it was great to share that with them, and we get to do that educationally as we go through the next few years together.
Was footy always the joyous game that you grew up with, and idolising your father and your uncles? And then you playing unders, whatever you started playing.
Yeah.
Was footy, was it always a joyous game, or as you got into the professional ranks, it became, I don't know, a different experience?
Oh, no, it was always a joy. When you get drafted at 17 and you're thrust into being a young leader, I was vice captain at 20 and given a fair bit of responsibility with the captaincy at 24 or whatever I was. It changes, like it does. It does change your attitude and your dedication, your desire to improve. But the game itself still is at the heart of what you do, and that love of running down the race together, that love of the the fans that you have, and the celebration with your teammates. I mean, that's the beautiful stuff.
Just one last one from me. We talk about the longevity in footy a lot, and you would have heard people up here tonight talk about, we were just looking at Michael Taylor, 360 games, and at Norwood, your home state, and a little bit at Collingwood. You got drafted out of a place that you absolutely loved and stayed at a new franchise and become their greatest player. Was your loyalty, was it ever tugged at? Was it, people went after you?
Yeah.
Why did you stay a Docker?
Well, I had opportunities to go back to South Australia, had opportunities to come here to Melbourne, to big AFL teams.
Carlton.
But Carlton, Collingwood, Gold Coast, there was lots of opportunities.
Yeah.
You should have been on record a few times. But the more you become invested in something personally, the more you pour your emotion into a group of people, the more that I was never going to leave. And so that loyalty was returned and still is being returned. And it's nice to see them doing well this year.
Well, that leads me to my next question. So you captained Fremantle through its most successful era to date, and maybe this current crop will go one better. Where does your mind go when you reflect on the 2013 grand final and that period under Ross Lyon?
Why are we doing this, Kath? Seriously, what are we really doing this cathartic, emotional?
Not 2013, but more
No.
Ross Lyon, because he spoke beautifully tonight about you.
My mind immediately turns to 8-14 and 5 out in the full in 2013. That's what it turns to.
Good on you, Kath.
Thank you, Matthew Pavlich, for joining us tonight.
But no, look, I mean, that build and that period of my mind turns to human beings, and it's the likes of Ross Lyon, Chris Bond, Jason Webber, a young Matthew DeBoer, Nick Subin, Hayden Ballantyne, Nathan Fife, Anthony Morabito, Luke McFarlane, Aaron Sandler. Just that beautiful relationship that you build, the hardness of challenging behaviour, but supporting people along the journey, and them challenging me to get better. That's the beautiful thing that you get to do week in, week out. And yeah, we fell short. I don't think about it every day, but now that you remind me, I think about it now.
I really wish I could take that question, but I was more asking about the era under Ross Lyon. Anyway, you're an absolute legend,
Well done,
and we're so lucky to work with you and enjoy this night with your beautiful family.
Thank you very much,
Thanks
guys.
for coming up, mate.